Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to a new episode of Around the World. There is a long list of disputed regions around the world. These regions are historically so disputed that the fight over them is going on continuously, whether it is Nagorno-Karabakh or Somaliland. These regions have their own parliament, government, and system. Apart from these regions, there is also a region in the Eastern Mediterranean, which is a victim of historical dispute. We are talking about Cyprus, a small peninsula. Cyprus always remains in the headlines due to its disputes. But this time, Cyprus is in the headlines for a major reason. Basically, the Cyprus Peninsula is divided into two parts, North Cyprus and South Cyprus. Both these regions have their own government. Since the region was divided into two parts after a historical massacre, therefore, United Nations peacekeepers were deployed in Cyprus to maintain peace and tranquility. However, approval has to be taken for renewal of the permission for the deployment of these soldiers every 6 months. And this permission has to be taken from the government of Southern Cyprus. The renewal of the deployment permission is due again in January 2022. But this time, Turkey-backed Northern Cyprus has stated that they should also agree to this decision. It is believed that the government of Northern Cyprus is preparing to evict peacekeepers from their bases, triggering new political and security crises on the divided island. Against this backdrop, a pertinent question arises: what is the reason for the recent crises in Cyprus? In today's episode, we will also talk about the political background of this crisis. But first of all, let us know about the region. When we look at the map, then we find that Turkey has a presence in almost all conflict zones in the regions of Central Asia, the Middle East, North Africa, and the Eastern Mediterranean. Turkey's presence in the middle of a vast region stretching from the Balkans to the Caucasus and the Mediterranean to the Black Sea has made Turkey a strategically important country. It is considered a strategically important country due to the Black Sea. Cyprus is located in the Eastern Mediterranean region to the south of Turkey. It is located west of Syria, northwest of Israel, north of Egypt, and southeast of Greece. Actually, mainly two communities live in Cyprus. One is Greek and the other is Turk. At one point of time, Cyprus was under British rule, and at that time the colonial policies of the government encouraged caste polarization. Such exercises infused the poison of communalism in the society of Cyprus. The seeds of the disintegration of Cyprus were sown during the British rule. Cyprus attained independence from Britain in 1960, and only 3 years later, that is, in 1963, a civil war broke out between both the communities. After this war, the participation of Turk Muslims in the Cyprus government ended. On the other hand, the Greek government, who was looking for an opportunity, found a favorable environment and it started planning a coup in Cyprus in 1974. The government of Cyprus was toppled on 15th of July 1974 and Turkish forces invaded Cyprus on 20th July 1974. Later, the Greeks were allowed to move to the south and the Turks to the north. Thereafter, the Ottoman Cypriots declared their territory a self-declared nation. Cyprus was divided into two parts, North Cyprus and South Cyprus. The line that separates the two parts was named the Green Line. At present, only Turkey has recognized Northern Cyprus. At the same time, many nations of the world, including the United Nations and the US, recognize the Greek Cyprus government. Since the southern government is recognized by the major powers of the world, this government has an upper hand over the northern government. When Cyprus was going through a period of partition, the region was a witness to fierce violence and devastation. Keeping this in mind, the United Nations peacekeeping force in Cyprus was established in 1964 under United Nations Security Council Resolution 186 to restore law and order and to normalize conditions. The green line that divides these two regions is monitored by the UN peacekeepers. It is also called a buffer zone. Now, the peacekeepers' permit is to be renewed in January 2022, but the government of Northern Cyprus has demanded that it must be consulted before taking this crucial decision. It is seen as a crisis because the number of peacekeepers in this region is about 1500, but the number of Turkish troops present in the northern part of Cyprus is about 35,000. It is believed that this figure is much larger than the Greek army present in the southern part of Cyprus. Experts are of the view that there are political reasons behind the crisis, and these reasons are related to increased tensions between the US and Turkey. Actually, Turkey has made a deal with Russia for the S-400 defense system, but the US got irked with this deal. Besides Turkey, the US also criticizes support Turkey. Since both the US and Turkey are members of NATO, therefore the US got irked with the deal made by Turkey with Russia. More recently, the US House of Representatives has passed an amendment motion in the CARTSA Act. Under this amendment, the US has prohibited the purchase of defense equipment from Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Under this amendment, India was given a concession. According to the concession, India can sign deals with Russia for defense systems, but the US did not give any concession to Turkey. Secondly, the US recently lifted the embargo on arms supplies to Cyprus. The recent reaction in Northern Cyprus is being linked to the US move as well. Actually, when the violence in Cyprus was at its peak, then the US imposed an arms embargo on the entire Cyprus in 1987. The US made this move because if arms will not be provided to Cyprus, then tensions will reduce and it will be possible to restore peace. But now the US has lifted the arms embargo. Turkey strongly opposed this move. It is believed that the US move will strengthen Greek Cyprus, that is the Southern Cyprus, and will negatively impact efforts to resolve the Cyprus issue. It is believed that if the proxy war between America and does not end, then in the future there may be a Russia-Ukraine-like crisis. However, it remains to be seen whether the recent turmoil in Cyprus reaches a solution or it prepares the ground for another big crisis. Question for today goes like: US and Turkey are fighting a proxy war for Cyprus. Analyze.